Howdy brewers. Today, finally going to get into that gluten-free pale ale so we've got some white sorghum syrup. I'm just going to do smash beer, so single malt will be the sorghum, malted sorghum, and sabro hops. For that we're just going to need a big pot, some water. We'll bring that water to the boil, and then we'll put in the sorghum syrup, bring that back to the boil. The reason why we do it why I'm going to do it in that order is I want to make sure this is really a pale coloured beer. So if I boil it for too long, it'll bring some colour into it, and I want to avoid that. So I just want to keep it as pale as possible. So I boil it for the shortest amount of time. And having said that, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the gluten-free lager. And I'll only be boiling for 30 minutes once I add some hops. So yeah, it'll just be bittering addition, flavour and aroma addition with, yeah, I don't think I'll do any dry hops with this one. So yeah, I'll get into it, set it all up and pour myself a home brew, and see you in a few minutes. Cheers. Just while we're waiting for the water to come to the boil before we add the sorghum malt, I just thought with that Aussie bitter I made, because I like to harvest my yeast, I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown. So this is what it looks like when you harvest it at bulk, and you can see the line of yeast at the bottom, and all this is pretty clear. So I am now just going to, all I do is decant most of this liquid off and put it in a mason jar labelled 3470, and I then just put it in my keezer. That's it. So then it's at fridge temperature. So I'll just I'll do that and come back. So yeah, that's all the decanted yeast, and yeah, so that'll separate out, probably take up about that much space in the bottom, and that's good for another batch of beer. Alright, just a little tip that if you want to improve your home brewing, save some money, harvest your yeast. I've got a whole video that I'll put up in one of the corners, a link to my full how-to yeast guide, but that's just a nice little tip I like to throw in. Still not up to the boil, but it won't be far away, then we'll come back. Alright, we're at the boil, so we can now add the sorghum syrup. The foil pack on these Breeze packets, they are really frustrating. Okay, we've dissolved, or it's all the sorghum is in the water now, so we've got some wort, and we'll bring this back to the boil and we'll add our hops. So we're just coming onto the boil now. We'll add our first hop addition and a 15-minute timer. Alright, so we'll add our flavour addition, sabro hops, and give that another 15 minutes. Okay, and there we have, well, the flame out type addition, and we'll leave that sit for 15 minutes to steep with all the hops. Alright, and then we'll transfer. Alright, so we've just finished transferring the wort. Had a little bit of spillage over the side, wort into the fermenter, but we are going to have to cool that down for a few hours until it gets to pitching temperature, because I don't have the ability to chill that wort in any other way than in the fermentation chamber. Alright, but yeah, that will be adding a US-05 a bit later when it's at pitching temp, and I'll ferment that till I'm done, and then we'll have a taste. Until next time, happy brewing.